All right, Toby, we're live, sir.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for the live debate after show here on Aether Cosmology. Tonight we watch Shane and Ozen debate the topic of electrostatics, gravity, the downward bias, and other things. And apparently there was at least one new flat earther that was made tonight, according to the super chats. I have a feeling it might have even been more than that. But for yeah, that really was the case according to the super chats. But for real, I want to make a massive shout out to Ozian. Honestly, man, I gotta say you stepped up to the plate, and that's huge. And I have massive respect for that. Shane was like throwing curveballs, windups, like change ups. I don't really know a lot of baseball, but like there was like loop de loop balls coming through there, and
I think he threw a fastball in there too, maybe.
there was a lot of a few like hyper, super luminal speed fastballs in there that were violating C. And so yeah, massive respect to that, and massive respect to Jaren for hosting it. I personally really enjoyed that debate, especially the parts where Shane was going deep into electrostatics and deep into the downward bias, and some great comments about the ether. Yeah, so real quick,
Yes,
I'll open it up.
shout out to Ozian for attending the clinic.
Yeah,
he's actually doing a flat earth re-education camp right now, or whatever the hell his derivative show is.
Re-education. Just make a straw man and stick with the straw man and say that they said that, and then just like keep at that the whole time and say you have to stick to that. There you go.
We're so unremarkable that
just say some flat earther said it, and then we all have to stand behind that.
Hey, so yeah, just to acknowledge that we all remember Toby saying somebody had a good pre-dunk.
That's our thing. That's why we did the curveballs or the helium jigger or whatever the fuck the sports are. This crew is not equipped on that.
It's pre-dunk.
All right, so all right, so say you have a ball, right, and you can't get to where you need to put the ball to score the goal, right? But you got a boy that's pretty close by, right? So you throw that ball to your boy. Your boy jumps up, grabs the ball, and puts it in the scoreboard thing, and that's called a pre-dunk. When you set your boy up for a pre-dunk.
And if you go to a basketball court, like somewhere in the city, where there's just a bunch of, you got like a big crowd of people playing just real organic b-ball on the streets, you're gonna hear them yelling pre-dunk, and that's the way it goes.
Yep.
So yeah.
So for anybody that doesn't get that, it's
if you explain it, it's gay. Yo.
Okay.
Let's see. Shane, did you have anything you wanted to comment on from the debate, or anything like specific you wanted to touch back on, or anything like that?
I don't know.
I think it was
like playing for a thing, and then it goes perfectly, and you feel calm and never anxious, worried, or concerned. And then at the end, you're like, "Oh, that went exactly even better than I thought." It's like one of those things, dude.
Well, I'll say this, man. You definitely had a level of control over the conversation.
I like the.
Well,
it was great.
He really chose wisely to like switch up to the what about like nothing existing? Can't nothing exist? Can't light just travel through nothing? Like, dude, why was that the go-to?
Stone was like, "Don't let him say dumb shit," and I was like, "I'm content to let the comparative dumb shit lean people this way." To be honest, like it's better if he says that equivalent.
I'm getting my ass handed to me. Is it cool if we go to like another subject?
I'm like, I'll go to any of the subjects.
That makes me a little like even more embarrassed.
Dude, I could tell some of the answers. He was just like, "What the fuck does that?" All right, well, back to mass and
yeah,
you did a great job containing your laughter.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dude, yeah, you handled yourself, I would say, pretty masterfully, honestly. You handled it really well. You answered everything with specificity. If you guys need the sources are there. Go check his database. And not only are the sources there, but his general point, his contentions, everything that he laid out in that debate is laid out in text form. You can go look it up. You can check the sources. You can go verify it all for yourself. If he talked too fast, or you want to say it was word salad or something, go check the work. all out there. You can go to adl.place and click on Shane's database, and then go find it's just called Shane's Debate Opener. Go click on that, and you can find the whole thesis of everything that Shane laid out tonight. So I would highly recommend everybody to do that, especially if you think that Shane misspoke about something, or that he doesn't have a source for something. I would go check that first before you make any conclusions about that.
Yeah, nice. Good point. I forgot that I published that, printed a PDF, released it to everyone, and then did a whole bunch of back sourcing with I also put all the PDFs and everything I used as a Aether Cosmology file share link, and it's called Debate Sources as one loadable, downloadable fucking file where everyone can take everything I referenced, looked at, and or incorporated. So beautiful.
There you go.
Yeah, I got a question for Shane.
So was it too lopsided where Jared just decided not to even like put a poll for who won? I mean, not that it wasn't obvious, but would have been even
we
more.
were joking when we started, like, how do you know who wins the debate? And I'm like, oh, it depends how you feel. That's how you determine it. That's how it works.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I
Depends on
think
your
the
biases.
polls are kind of silly, especially on social media, because they can get skewed. And
All it is, hey,
yeah.
what position do you already cemented yourself on? Yeah, cool. I'm on this side. Great. Let's take another poll
Right.
next week. See if anything fucking matters.
Flat Earth
I mean,
lost.
it might have been interesting
Flat
to
Earth won
see,
a long time ago.
but I think Shane's right. The real thing is, like, how many people actually internalize some new information tonight, or maybe thought more critically about things they haven't thought so critically about before. I think that's the real point.
It was cool to meet Jaron, and he's already like, thank you for all your work. I'm like, whoa, thank you for all your work. Bringing me like, oh shit, dude, nice. What's up, man? I haven't actually talked to him yet, even though it's peripherally been around since we got here, right?
Super good. I had to come out of bed to congratulate you with my voice, even though I hadn't talked in like an hour and a half. But yeah, what were you going to say, Sacred? Your mic came in low.
Oh yeah, real quick. I got a question for Shane. Shane, how do you feel about this the new structure of the debate? And what was your strategy based on that structure?
Dude, the structure was great, but I only selected it because I knew I could have an actual conversation with those, even if Jaron wasn't even there. The other debate format was definitely for anyone abrasive and or interruptive, generally anti-flat earthism, or isn't like even Ozian with Witsit, or everyone with Witsit, strangely, as it turns out. If the same people with just me or anyone else would be probably non-interruptive and fine. But personally, to be able to passively control with an engagement like that is way more powerful than having to rely on muting or back and forth or times or whatever.
Yeah, again, like, I do have to say that it's a breath of fresh air to have something to hear a Glober be at least respectful, like Ozian was. So respect again to him for that.
In the beginning, he was like, I think you're a real flat earther. I was like, thank you. I guess, like, is that okay? He's like, you and Jaron are real. I'm like, good, that's cool. I'm glad you reached that conclusion, bro. That's
Yeah, and I say that, but hopefully that doesn't mean that he's, some people do things to save face.
No, it
Hopefully
was genuine. He was like, trying to extend that we don't call people liars or do the dumb shit, because he was just being a genuine. I think he's mostly genuine, dude. He's mostly concerned about his thing, his channel, his life. He doesn't really care about the stuff, which is why he's so freely able to do it. I think, but could be wrong.
So one technical thing that got brought up was the Van de Graaff generator and turning it upside down. Like, that's okay. Unless I'm missing something, he's totally missing the point.
Yeah, how is that not retarded? Somebody, I don't understand how that's not retarded. Somebody tell me.
I concur.
Like, he, like, in his explanation for why that meant, he's like, oh, it just means that the like charges are repelling, but like, okay, like that doesn't change anything about what Shane's laying out, right? Like, it would still be the same. It'd be the charge, the buildup, causing a difference. Like, I don't know.
Toby, I'll chime in because I was thinking, even with what he was trying to say, like, if you can do that, if you can reverse it with the Van de Graaff generator, flip it and whatever, the deal is the Earth has a equipotential gradient that is a downward bias. It does. You can't take the Earth and pretend to flip it. Like, it already is set measurably. So that's what you have to stick with, reality. They keep wanting to get away from what's really out there in nature, and they want to invent their own belief system, which they've done. Well, it was handed to everybody, but now they've adopted it, so they don't want to emerge away from it because they think they have the truth and they don't want to explore what is the truth. But does that make sense? Like, what is outside is a downward electrical gradient. There's no flipping it magically or pretend,
Well, I think he was just saying, hey, if I invert it from the start, you inverted it to, then it's once again inverted. Ta-da! And I was like, but if it's just two opposing states of equilibrium, charging and discharging, how does flipping it up change the dynamic? Really, it doesn't at all. You get that, right?
That makes sense for sure.
All right, so that was retarded. I'm glad I didn't say it was retarded point blank, because I stopped myself. I was like, nah, how do I politely say that's retarded? I'll just be quiet.
Notice he kept on jumping back and forth between mass attracting mass and general relativity.
Yeah.
Which one we talking
Dude,
about?
You're just
for,
supposed to say
for
with all due
someone who's
respect.
not a relativist, right? I'm not appealing to relativity, but we have reference frame problems and we can't establish an absolute frame. Guys, that's relativity.
He's like, I don't need the absolute frame. You can't even really be sure if we
that's
can
hands
determine an
down-
absolute frame.
Hands down relativity, dude.
Poor guy.
The purest sense. That's pure relativity.
Dude. Yeah, it gets even worse. And then, so like later he gave an example, right? That was like, I forget what it was, but it was about something falling. And he was like, well, you could say that it's falling towards me or it's falling towards the ground, but we all know in reality it's going towards the ground. And it's like, come again? Did you just, so you can tell from a lab frame, which is the correct application, right? So like, is a satellite falling around the Earth or is an Earth falling around the satellite? How do we know which is happening? Right? Like his argument is literally that he can't tell the difference, guys.
That was a concession as he from himself as he was talking.
So yeah,
He
you
said
gotta
that as if
gotta-
it was positive evidence.
right. Yeah, you gotta watch out for that because that's like, I'm not a relativist, but there's no reference frame of absoluteness. What?
Yeah, I mean, like he had nowhere to go, so I just let him say this stuff, and then
yeah, I know. It just hurt to.
I heard you. I saw your. I was like,
as soon as he started saying it, I'm like, here's how to refute all of that in text form in 4 sentences.
You mentioned relativity. Hold on.
Oh, dude, the electron, bro. Let somebody pull up fucking the double slit experiment on me one day, dog. Please.
Do you think light travels in a medium? Yeah, absolutely. For all these reasons. Why do you think it's a fucking particle? For no reasons?
Dude,
oh, okay. Cool.
He pulls up the experiment where it doesn't show the duality and just still shows a diffraction pattern, which would be in alignment with a wave. It's like your go-to that's why, dude. Yeah, we'll talk about that. It's preposterous.
Yeah, that was preposterous. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I thought Shane did a pretty good job of responding and laying out what a quote unquote photon really is.
Yeah, and the electron too. That's because their whole models, right? It literally depends on using the concept, the quantized version of the photon, right?
Yep.
To measure electrons, right? Or well, nucleuses and all that stuff. Like, so it's like, they use these two mechanisms, electricity and the conjugate expression of an electric field and a magnetic field. So radiation or electromagnetic radiation to like reify each other as quantized particles. Like it all hinges on those relationships, and it's just probability based off of waves and offset. It's like, what's the wave waving? Well, it's not waving a probability field of particles, right? But anyway, yeah,
I don't like. Well, actually, I don't want to destroy your whole fundamental framework of interpretation. How about I present a mild alternative for the time being, and we'll just interpret it there and recognize that they're different. He's like, yeah, but mass, like, okay, well, back to that thing we just said that you didn't obviously understand about the same phenomenon being interpreted differently according to the fundamental framework from which I perceive reality, right? But Here's how that works both ways. Dude, my question was like, you know how I know everything about your model and you don't know anything about my model? Do you think that's weird?
Dude, I kind of called that one out. I was like, oh, to be fair to Ozzy, that was kind of a loaded question.
It was like, or do you think that doesn't happen? Like, defend how the opposite is true or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, given the context of the debate that had preceded that question, was a pretty fair question.
I forgot that Jern had to be like, hey, stop asking them questions and make a fucking argument. Aren't you supposed to be defending something or positing
Yeah.
something or whatever? I was like, oh yeah, aren't you or whatever?
Yeah, shout out to Jaren for calling that out. Because it was odd. Like your timer was running down and his wasn't, but then every time you would say a bunch of stuff, and then instead of responding to any of it meaningfully, at least from what I gathered, at least especially during the first half, he would just respond with this is what he did. He asked you, what is electricity? He asked you what a coulomb was, and he asked you for like random definitions as like
Your charges come from. It's like, where do your charges come from?
The sky, ether under torsion and pressure. Fucking like, what kind of a metaphysical question is that?
The spamming questions was crazy.
But I like
Directly acknowledging nothing that you were saying.
Yeah, I didn't mind answering his question because I was like, that's cool. Oh, that is neat. Oh, that's interesting. Cool, because that's stupid and this is how it really works. And then I was like, oh, you're supposed to be like arguing something or
Yep.
it was like, yeah, I already know your argument, read your video and dumped on that. Did you have anything else? Nope. Terrific. Let's continue talking past you to the audience.
Not a reputation in sight.
He was like, how come we can't defend Cavendish? I'm like, defend? You know how a Jenga block is on top and there's a foundation below it? And then like
Dude, that was fantastic, by the way. It was a perfect analogy.
He actually conceded to an equivalence, didn't he?
He did. He conceded to an equivalence, and he seemed, he seemed to be very ready to move the conversation on after that point.
like, yeah, but do you have any fuck you math? I was like, you bet your boy I do have some fuck you math. Hold on 1 second. I prepared this just for you.
So that FYM, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, before I do it though, I'm like 60% familiar with what the fuck this means.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't really have any more notes to go over. Does anyone else have any thoughts or questions? Anything you want to cover, Shane?
This is the so far grounded, scientifically cohesive, corroborative explanation for why things go down that I've found. Critiques welcome for sure. Let's see if we can't hammer this one down. This is, I think, is one of our stronger arguments, and it's like not only cohesive but modular and works with all the other like fundamental mechanisms of flat Earth. So it's a great basic foundation. I think we should perfect this one, right? So the thing I printed out and put on the database is literally everything connected, laid out, beginning to end, defined experimentally, reference sourced, etc. So check that out if you haven't, and tell me if you think it's dumb or whatever.
Yeah, you can do that in the comments of this video. You can do that on X Twitter. You can do that here on the Discord, in Aether Cosmology Discord. You can do that in Telegram. There's multiple ways to reach out to us, and we typically will humor your question. Although if you scattergun like 30 questions and we don't respond for a long time, well, it's because you asked a bunch of questions that were going to take a really long time to respond to. So,
or I might just ignore you because I can do that.
Yeah,
the dude was
I'm
asking
thinking, I'm like,
questions.
dude, I still haven't gotten any of those. So yeah,
I'm like, oh, because I don't have to. I don't care. Like that's easy.
But good faith questions. If you're actually trying to edify us and or yourself, then we will respond in kind.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind everybody that I have a really great conversation between Stone and Social on electrostatics on my channel, and it's great. And I think I caught Stone reacting to Ozian talking about how much energy could possibly be up there coming down, and I think Ozian was acting like it wouldn't be that much. Stone, didn't you mention like a very, very large number of energy passing down?
It was just his quote about the voltage potential gradient
Right.
in the air, and that he says that it tops out at 400,000 volts, he said.
Mm-hmm.
But when we look at the textbook Globee equation at 100 volts per meter, we're talking about 4,000 meters. And he's just ignoring the potential for any further voltage gradient any higher than that, which I found astounding, frankly. But right off the top of this debate, I got a pretty strong impression of how it was probably going to go when at the same time I'm sitting there watching Ozian deliver his opener, poisoning the well more than once towards the end of what he was saying. And I looked to my right, and there's Shane sitting there calmly, nonchalantly vaping. It was like, okay, now I know what's going on here. All right.
I was like, I need to be higher for
Good to
this
go,
shit.
man. Good to go. You know, we spent so much time looking at the clock. I spent so many updates to Shane going, hey, you're 8 minutes behind, buddy. You know, start asking him questions. You know, start getting him to define things you already know what they are. You know, you just get it going around, pretend you don't know what's actually there, and get him to clarify something about either model. You know what I mean? Start to peel the clock back the other way. Turns out none of that mattered. Thanks, Jaron. None of that mattered at all because Shane just got to keep on talking right at the end because really Ozian had nothing else to talk about. So we might as well just, you know, make the use of our time on somebody who has something to say. And, you know, in the end, I think all of those points fit together. We know about the verdict if we were going to apply one to this quote debate. It's a no-brainer.
And thanks for filling in on that. And you know, whenever I think about how much it would take to invert or make us float, like I like that part y'all were talking about. Like if a human being was to float, it would destroy us, or even a lead ball. The amount of energy it would take to levitate it, it may not even be able to still be electrostatically held together. You know, so that's just amazing how powerful nature is and how powerful the truth is. And that's one of the cool things about this movement is so many people are trying to figure out what actually is going on in the real world, in physics, in reality. And you know, we were all fooled by the globe. We all had an idea that, oh, it works this way, it has to work that way, blah blah blah. And now we're saying no. We have the freedom to do research and dig. And I love the work being done at Ether Cosmology. You know, I love going to adl.place. I go there often, and I'm like, okay, let me see if I can find it. I wonder if he's looked into this. And I hit the 3 bars on the top left, and it just folds down all those topics. So that's a great resource, Shane. Appreciate all the hard work everybody's putting into it. And that's about all I have tonight, but thank you.
Nice. Thanks, Mayor. Appreciate you making the appearance. Always the personal phone calls, the prefaces, the meetings, you know, the business exchanges, all the way you do it.
No, man, I
Thanks,
want to
bud.
say I appreciate you guys' hard work too, man. Go be Alan. That's it.
Yeah, dude. Like I was
Look
pumped. I
at
got
look.
to-
Oh, go ahead.
You go ahead, man.
I was just gonna say, look like you clearly put your time in prepping for this debate.
Definitely polished some edges and shit, dude. But I was like, hey guys, you want to go on a debate show? And then you guys went for like 2 weeks, and then no one wanted to debate me. And then I had to go with Ryan, and then I was like, fuck this. And I was like, okay. Ozian, you're a lad. Come over here, bro. Let me ask you something. See that video you just made? Do you want to defend that? Cool, great. But now we got to do like eclipses, ether, and a bunch of other stuff. So like, let's find some decent globers. Shit, I'll just do Ozian again.
Any quantum field theory lads want to debate ether, or you know the validity of quantum field theory versus ether? Put that out there.
Dude, like I was like, hey, why do you think things go naturally like east-west directionally slower than west-east and not north-south or whatever? Do you think that's like weird?
I don't recall him having much of an answer. Oh no, yeah, he
did.
literally
Definitely
didn't have an answer.
It was like, well, the Sagnac effect and other stuff and your circular rotation and nonsense media, whatever the hell.
Yeah, you tried, man. You were like, "Well, what do you think it is?" And he was just, "I don't know." Like he literally refused to even try and apply a causal mechanism. That was interesting. So yeah, Man, I don't know what to say. I want to say like a massive thanks, Shane. Like you clearly put your time in prepping and you got the information all put together concisely. You went on a nice, you went on a great platform. Thanks again to Jaron for hosting, and you laid it out. And hopefully we can do more of this. I'd love to see it again.
Nice. Thanks, man. Thanks for all the support. That was definitely the intent. It wasn't to fucking defeat Ozzy. And that's why, like, when Stone was like, watch on the clock, I'm like, he's not really the opponent. He's just chilling. Like, that's not even my target. It's cool. Like, let him say whatever. At the end, he was like, ask him questions. I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot whatever nonsense, feeble, fumbling thing you were trying to defend that I knew was retarded. Did you want to go back at that? Or nah, it's fine.
Yeah, it worked out because like I told Stone, I was like, really though, like what's gonna happen if it comes down to 6 minutes of Ozin on the clock? What's Ozin gonna do if he can't even ask Shane questions? So,
Yeah, I
like,
suppose that is a strat in itself, was my response. That give him 7 minutes to hang himself. I don't know, man.
I didn't even know
And
that
then
there was like a competition of time or clocks. I was just like, I speak, you speak. Can I speak now? I can? Okay, cool. Fuck it. Like, whatever.
and then it worked out because you just got to ask him questions and got to get him to expound a little bit.
I didn't know that it was a battle of the clocks format. That wasn't apparent from my perspective at the start. I get go right. Like, oh, yeah, it's fine.
Clock fight.
Shane, I just want to say you did a great job.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate that. I'm glad you watched, man. That was one of my favorite, I think, arguments for sure. Substantially well supported, I think.
I saved your, is it a web page or, yeah, I made a local copy to read further.
The database of just, I don't know, everything now. It's not even correlative. It's just Shane's flat earth fucking badassery or whatever.
There you go.
Whatever topic I wanted to look into, I just put it there. So whatever's not there, I haven't looked into. Oh, tides. We got to do geokinematics and tides next. Is that the next presentation, dude?
Yes. On
Grab it.
Tuesday. Oh, also, wait. Is today Wednesday? Yeah, today's Wednesday.
Today's Tuesday.
Oh, it's Wednesday.
Yeah,
Tomorrow there's a presentation from, is it Patricia?
Oh, yeah. Nice. On the inspiration for why I learned anything about eclipses and her new theory revolving around the Great Astronomical Measurement Clock, debunking the theory of evolution. I assume probably by debunking the large gaps of time they had to insert, like I always say.
Nice.
Today's definitely Tuesday, though. Trust me. All
It's
the cool stuff happens
12:05.
on a Tuesday.
So now it's
It's 12:06 in
5
real
minutes
people
ago,
time.
whatever.
But yeah, Patricia's awesome, dude. I'm highly looking forward to that. Just wanted to make sure that was still going on tomorrow.
Hell yeah, totally forgot. That'll be fun.
So yeah, that's at, let me check here.
I think it's at
7 p.m. tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, it's analysis of historical timekeeping methods and calendar systems. So there you go. Join us for that. And then next Tuesday, so you're saying maybe tides next Tuesday? I was also possibly thinking about doing something with Moonlight. But tides could be really cool. And actually, if you want to do tides next Tuesday, that actually works out well for me.
I have like 60 to 70% of tides done. I also have this new Sky Mile presentation that's like an individual on its own, 30 slide, maybe like an hour thing, like 79% built. So I could go either way, or like probably gonna be both.
Heck, we'll just do Sky Miles, tides, Moonlight, and spectroscopy, and everything.
No tomorrow. Yeah,
simultaneously.
Simultaneously, we're all gonna present at the same time.
It's like listening to Robert Gage composition.
Think how efficiently you could learn though 4 subjects at once.
Dude, I realized the first time I was listening to your presentation and then reciting a build it upon evolved idea that I got from said presentation, I was like, whoa, that really truncates the learning process when I do none of it. And then I just listen to Alan for like 40 minutes. And then I'm like, oh, it works both ways. Oh, it works for every competent person who you trust. Oh, Wait a second. Like, it's like, oh my God, we can actually do this.
Thank
That's
you.
sweet.
So yeah, anyone else have any final thoughts? Anything they want to throw in? Or should we wrap up here?
Hey, I say, Shane, man, you crushed it, of course. It'd be interesting to see what Ozian has to say about using. Well, how he'd be able to explain away like the lack of motion of the Earth if he doesn't appeal to relativity. But we're definitely going to talk about this debate, quote unquote, this smashing over a Flat Earth Friday. So I can't wait. Man, you did a great job. Shout out to you, bro.
Oh yeah, definitely
Nice.
pop in on Friday for Flat Earth Fridays with Sacred and Proud and Level Heads. Don't miss that. Usually live streamed on Space Audits and also on all of Shane's platforms. So definitely don't miss that. Real quick, go through a couple of the YouTube chats. Shane, you got a comment from Very Plain Traduction, said you were awesome. And then someone told us, thanks for the real knowledge. And there's a comfort about listening to a bunch of intellectual guys who can back up anything they say with empirical facts. Yo, and sources.
Damn.
So, and then someone, Espress, said they're sorry they missed it. And you know you won the debate when you super chat yourself.
I was like, dude, Jaren, first time. Thanks, bro. Didn't really say anything. There was no need. Here's some money, dude. And YouTube, here's some money, I guess. Whatever. Yay, all around.
Oh, it's flat man. That's nice. Nice.
I was
Yeah.
like, is that a rule? I didn't know, dude.
We got
I
a couple comments from my chat as well. Everyone in the chat said he did a great job simultaneously.
Nice. Was there a poll anywhere? Let's see. Out of curiosity, I think Jaren had one. Is there a debate, a fucking Ozian show going on right now? I just want to like eavesdrop for 1 minute or whatever.
Probably. Should we go ahead and wrap our?
Congratulations, Shane.
Oh,
You
yeah.
win.
Thanks, Gwen.
All right, there it is. There
Take
it
the
is.
trophy and I'll polish it for next time or whatever.
There it is. That's the one.
Nice.
Quinn was the judge. We forgot to mention that. All right,
Yeah, they
everybody.
called me
Thanks
the
for
judge.
listening. Again, we'll be live tomorrow with Patricia's presentation about cosmology, and then Thursday live reading night, spectroscopy. Friday, Flat Earth Fridays with the level heads. Saturday and Sunday, we will not be doing a Brenner comp reading night this week, but we'll be picking that back up again soon. And then on Monday, we'll probably do another Aether Cosmology live Twitter X Space. And then on Tuesday, catch the next Aether Roundtable. Thanks again for being here. And thanks again to Shane for laying it out, the electrostatic equivalence and the kinematic equivalence that can be expressed through a number of different equations. Take care, y'all.